Controller General of Customs meets President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, announces plans to reopen all Nigerian borders.
When the borders are reopened, it's not going to be subject of rumor in any way.
United Nations advocate increased responsibilities to mitigate effects of climate change.
The ocean is our planet's greatest reservoir of biodiversity.
Organized labor charges women to push beyond lamentations over inequality. Hello and thanks for joining us on the news desk at 3 here on NTA News 24. I am Anne Jibuno. The emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, will lead to economic prosperity and lasting peace in the region. This was the view of senators when the Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, praised a motion jointly sponsored by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, other members of the leadership, and the entire Senate, congratulating President Bola Tinubu on his emergence as the chairman of ECOWAS heads of state of government. Senate observes that as a strategist, the president will promote democracy and good governance, as well as ensure effective response to security threats within the sub-region. Senate equally notes that clinching this influential position reaffirms Nigeria's leadership role. The lawmakers advised that the opportunity should be maximally utilized in addressing challenges faced by Nigerians residing in sister countries within the community. The Nigeria Customs Service says all Nigerian borders will soon be reopened at the completion of administrative work. Acting Controller General of the service stated this while briefing State House correspondents after an audience with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
There are reports on issues of border closure across the country. The federal government is re-strategizing to ensure all Nigerian borders are reopened.
There are ongoing processes to review this situation against the objective of the border closure itself. And the processes are not yet completed. And of course, when the borders are reopened, it's not going to be subject of rumor in any way. I can also tell you that part of my discussions with Mr. President is to actively engage customs administrations across our borders, particularly the strategic ones that we must work and collaborate with for us to achieve common objectives of border security and regional integration.
On the issue of smuggling of petroleum products across Nigerian borders, the customs boss says measures have been put in place to address the crime. It
might take some time before the issue of smuggling of fuel across the borders we completely dissipate. So in some border areas, we had reports of seizures of fuel, and that is what we had. So it was the assumption generally that because of the fuel is now sold at 500 naira per liter, it will be a disincentive for smuggling. But contrary to that, we have seen that they are still smuggling it across the borders. The rates at which this is being smuggled has reduced considerably. And it is our hope that by the time we mix some of these other policies that government is working on, it will completely eliminate the problems of smuggling of fuel across our borders.
Technological solutions are also expected to be deployed in ensuring the safety and security of all land borders across the country. From the State House, Abrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government has set up proactive measures in areas predicted to be affected by floods this rainy season. Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, who is also the Gombe State Governor, Mohammed Inuwa Yahaya, stated this after an audience with Vice President Kashim Shettima. Governor Inuwa Yahaya said government is aware of the flash highlighted by agencies responsible and has engaged all stakeholders to share ideas on how to tackle the expected disaster.
And for that, we are strategizing. We wouldn't like a repeat of what happened last year to do the same this year. But in whatever we do, we have to be both proactive and reactive. We've not reacted in a way that we solved all the problems of last year, and this year has started. So we need to double, we do some little backtracking and move in double logs to catch up with the current trends and do the needful.
State House correspondent Abdulrahman Usman Jibrila reports that Governor Inuwa Yahaya also spoke on the issue of security, especially in the northern part of the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima says Nigeria requires the cooperation of all citizens, irrespective of religious and ethnic differences, to support the Tinubu administration in transforming the country. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Usman Jibrila also gave a vast report and says that the Vice President stated this when he received the leadership of the 10th House of Representatives, led by the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas at the Presidential Villa.
The Tinubu administration requires the support of all. These are the words of the Vice President Kashim Shettima while receiving leadership of the House. President Tinubu is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership, as exemplified from the first day with swift moves to address economic growth and development. On President Tinubu's support for the legislature, the Vice President noted that the executive is ever willing to ensure harmonious working relationship among all arms of the government for the good of the nation. Extolling the leadership qualities of the new principal officers of the House of Representatives, the Vice President implored them to rally round the Speaker in the face of governance and form a common front in addressing the core challenges confronting the country.
In this particular project, we call it Unity Project. We do not look at ourselves as APC, PDP, LP. We look at ourselves as parliamentarians representing the Nigerian project. So we feel that at this point that we have elected our leadership, for both the majority and the minority, we should all come together and pay homage to our VP, to see them, get to know them, so that we can prepare for the challenges ahead.
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas restated the members' support to government programs and policies, noting that they are ready to collaborate to work for the progress of the nation. From the State House, Abdulrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
The Ogun State Police Command has paraded 28 suspects arrested for cultism, kidnapping and defilement of minors in various parts of the state. The State's Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, paraded the suspects at the command's headquarters in Ileweran, Abeokuta. Yemi Dalemo reports.
The suspects who were arrested for cultism-related activities in Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu and Ogijo include 2 suspects who attempted to kidnap some people at Ferret Village along Owode-Egba Road. The suspects, according to the State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, are notorious cult members who allegedly belong to Aye and Eye confraternities terrorizing various parts of Ogun State, including Abeokuta Township. Also paraded alongside the alleged cult members is a 66-year-old father who allegedly defiled his 7-year-old daughter, whose mother left him 2 years ago. Items recovered from the suspects include cut-to-size locally made guns, assault rifles, English pistol, live ammunition, charms, among others.
The success we have achieved today would not have been possible without the support of the good people of Ogun State, who are giving us timely and credible information. I hereby appeal to them not to relent in their efforts until palpable peace reign in the state.
CP Alamutu warned criminally minded individuals to have a change of heart or be ready to face the full weight of the law, as the command will deal decisively with anyone who takes crime as business in any part of Ogun State. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Public affairs commentators have commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's speech at the 63rd ECOWAS summit and urged him to restore economic, political and security stability among member states in the sub-region. Discussing matters arising from the ECOWAS summit, the analysts also noted that the summit's decision to address barriers to intra-regional trade could make a significant impact on regional trade. Ekemini Williams has more details.
Heads of state in West Africa, including Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, were in Guinea-Bissau recently for the 63rd ECOWAS summit. President Tinubu, who was making his first outing at the summit, was chosen by his peers as the new chairman of ECOWAS. Diplomats, international affairs and public affairs analysts described this as a strong acknowledgement of Nigeria's leadership role in ECOWAS and Africa.
Part of the statement which Mr. President made that Nigeria is back, you know, wherever you have regional integration, there must be a driver, there must be a champion who is driving it. When ECOWAS was ECOWAS, it was Nigeria that is given the purposeful leadership. It's the one driving the process. In Europe, why we are seeing European Union very intact, very strong, it was because of the leadership provided by Germany.
We're hoping that Nigeria, in leading ECOWAS, will adopt, in bringing about, improvement or mitigation in some of these problems that we are highlighting. We cannot be talking about progress or capital development, in the absence of peace, because naturally economics will say that capital takes flight, where there is peace, or money runs away from crisis.
They noted some of the challenges countries in the sub-region have been grappling with, including insecurity and unconstitutional change in governments, such as in Mali, Guinea-Conakry and Burkina Faso, as well as poor intra-regional trade. They urged President Tinubu to give effect to the promise contained in his speech at the summit and restore vibrancy to ECOWAS and the sub-region.
It's going to be adopted to these countries that have refused to, abide by democratic principles. Once these non-friendly measures are not achieving the intended purpose, then a deployment of the ECOWAS standby force might become necessary. Advancement of democracy, security of lives and property are the only things that can guarantee peace.
The big elephant is the fact that we cannot run away from it unless you have the conducive atmosphere. So you need to now address that conflict area, make sure that it's business friendly.
They also took note of the low level of formal intra-regional trade and were hopeful that the decision of the summit to set up a committee led by former ECOWAS Commission President Mohamed Ibn Chambers would turn around the situation. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Federal Character Commission has put in place modalities towards improving its performance in the actualization of its mandates of equity, justice and fairness. Chairman of the Commission, Habiba Dankaka, gave the assurance during a strategic meeting with commissioners of the establishment. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
Ensuring equity and fairness in the distribution of posts and infrastructural development in the country is the core mandate of the Federal Character Commission.
We are a regulator commission.
One after the other, commissioners reeled out their strategic plans towards making the remaining 2 out of the 5 years term better by putting in more efforts to fulfill the vision of the commission. Responding to requests from members of the Unemployed Youths Association of Nigeria, Muhiba Dankaka said no Nigerian looking up to the commission will be disappointed.
I promise you one thing, when they come down for employment, we make sure that they advertise inside the newspaper so that you people can see it and you can quickly apply. With this one, it will be easier for unemployed youth in Nigeria to get employed.
The activities we are doing now, we need to just increase upon them, ensure that we are monitoring the MDAs properly and ensuring that they are following the laid down procedures for employment, promotion, recruitment, and including the infrastructural distribution.
In government employment, what we are looking at is to ensure that it is not shady, it is not given out, it must be given out on merit. That is our stand. And then for skills, we partner with organizations, different ministries and different government agencies to organize empowerment programs.
The commission has a representative each from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
This is the News Desk at 3 here on NTA News 24. Let's take a break now. More stories are still ahead. Thanks for staying with us. Humanity counts on the ocean, but can the ocean count on man? This was the pose UN Secretary General put to an open debate at the climate change wrap in New York City. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday has more.
The ocean is described as planet's greatest reservoir of biodiversity, with resources that sustains communities, prosperity and human health around the world. Addressing the forum, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said man should be the ocean's best friend, but right now humanity is its worst enemy.
The ocean is the foundation of life. It supplies the air we breathe and food we eat. It regulates our climate and weather. The ocean is our planet's greatest reservoir of biodiversity.
The open debates at the instance of the United Arab Emirates, which presided over the Security Council during the months dedicated it to climate change, peace and security.
We aim to underscore how climate change has been, is and will continue to directly impact the Council's ability to carry out its mandate. But we also believe that the impacts of climate change on international peace and security require a carefully calibrated role for the Security Council.
As part of the RAP, Special Representative of the Secretary General for Somalia, Catriona Liang, visited different regions of the country, one of the most affected by climate change.
He also talked about the importance of dealing with the underlying drivers around climate change and building resilience and a future stronger economic base.
The RAP is part of build-up to COP28 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has underscored the need for the society to be proactive towards issues of insecurity. Governor Sule said this when he received the North Central Director of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, retired Major General Hamza Bature. Aliyu Tijani reports.
Governor Abdullahi Sule says the establishment of the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons is apt in order to checkmate the proliferation of arms in the country. He stresses the need for peace as a prerequisite for development and notes that the center will go a long way in enhancing peace and harmony.
Peace is a responsibility of every one of us. Security is also everyone's responsibility. So we welcome this idea that they have brought in people who understand what small arms are all about and giving you the opportunity really to work very hard in ensuring that we resolve this matter.
Underscoring the need for all segments of the society to play a role in enhancing security, the zonal head says the North Central Zone of the center is established to check the proliferation of small arms and light weapons and has made significant breakthrough.
Activities in Nasarawa State surely will upscale activities in the Federal Capital Territory. Felt it is necessary that I come to you to let you know activities.
He emphasizes that the center has been committed to sensitization of the public and other relevant security outfits, as he discloses that more than 3,000 weapons have been seized and destroyed in Lafia. Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The organized labor has called on women to push beyond lamentations over inequality, oppression, and galvanize resources to support women empowerment. This dominated discussions at the Public Service International Africa and Arab Countries Regional Women's Conference in Abuja. Joseph Hussein reports.
Discrimination and violence against women are global phenomenon, but the situation in Africa and the Arab countries are said to have common features due to their social structures. The impact has continued to affect development of women to add value to society.
The growth around the globe of religious fanaticism is contributing to attack women's rights and reduce their possibility to access dignity in their private life as well as in their labor life.
This assembly of women under the Public Service International is to sustain conversations on how to break the barriers working against women in Africa and the Arab nations to be more supportive with initiatives that would place women at better positions to stand their grounds.
To empower and reposition women to be advocates and not complainants of social re-engineering.
If the government consider and make social care one of their public service provisions, then we will see women taking up more training opportunities and capacity building critical.
With a theme, women workers, together breaking barriers towards gender equality, the conference hopes to come up with ideas that would curb gender-based harassment at workplaces, on equal pay for work of equal value, occupational training, and poor representation at workplace. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
The Association of Orphanages and Home Operators in Nigeria is advocating policies and legislations to improve the welfare of orphans. Addressing a news conference at the association's maiden national conference in Abuja, the president, who highlighted a series of events for the conference, unequivocally remarked that members must ensure they change the narratives of false publications which have dented the image of the association, and pledged to ensure proper data analysis. He enjoined members to sustain the spirit of selfless service they have rendered to the less privileged.
Perspective or perceptions about our work. We want to let the public know that we are here, and we want to work with government. We need good results. We need to be involved in policy making, because the evaluation, serious evaluation, because they are not carried along. We are not involved in policy making, and we that the federal government, the Senate, will give us a recognition and put us on board in formulating policy.
The Ministry of Women Affairs disclosed it will complement the association's efforts through policies that will help safeguard the vulnerable children.
For the vulnerables, they try to make policies that will always protect them, safeguard them, and that's a standard way of protecting the children in the society.
The association also called for assistance from various partners. The House of Representatives has received a request from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for an amendment to spend 500 billion naira from the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act. The President, in his request, read at Wednesday's plenary by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, is seeking House approval to use the requested funds for the provision of palliatives to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal on Nigerians.
I write to request the approval of the House of Representatives for the amendment of the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act in accordance with the attached. The request has become necessary in order to, among other things, source for funds necessary to provide palliatives to mitigate the effect of the recent removal of fuel subsidy on Nigerians. Thus, the sum of 500 billion naira only has been extracted from the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act of 819 billion 536 million 937,815 naira only for the provisions of palliatives to Nigerians to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. While I hope that the House of Representatives will consider this request expeditiously, please accept, Right Honorable Speaker, the assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
National Assembly correspondent Mitai Rekben reports that the House also resolved to investigate alleged mismanagement of billions of naira, including alleged fictitious contract award by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. Well, that concludes the news desk at 3 here on NTA News 24. We thank you for joining us. Do remember to join the NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Anne Jibuno.